everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment, here with my new Empowered Moments video for the week of Monday, June 26th through Sunday, July 2nd, 2023. Can you believe we're going into the month of July already? For this week's weekly reading, we're going to be using the Angel Tarot deck by Jane Wallace for the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Sacred Forest Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. So this is a hugely busy week, astrologically speaking. This week we got lots of astrology and lots of cards to look at. So let's not hesitate. Let's drop into our heart space and close our eyes, and let's do an empowered moment. So getting yourself comfortable in your chair, legs uncrossed, arms uncrossed. Close your eyes, taking a deep breath. Releasing all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs as you exhale. Visualizing, sensing, seeing, feeling, or just knowing that you're surrounded in this beautiful etheric golden white light of unconditional love and compassion, peace, and healing. Let's breathe that in deeply to every cell of your body. As you exhale, imagine a grounding cord going deep into Earth Mother Gaia, connecting to her heart chakra. And this time, as you inhale, taking in a deep breath, imagine, see, sense, or feel that you're breathing up through your grounding cord, Earth Mother Gaia's nurturing, loving, healing energy, the amber golden elixir of healing from Earth Mother Gaia. Breathing that up and in to every cell of your body, allowing that to merge with the etheric golden white light of Source, creation. And focusing your attention this week on Neptune, the planet Neptune, the planet that rules the spiritual realm, things unseen and intangible, rules other planes of reality. It rules our psychic nature, our healing nature, unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness. And Neptune this week is turning to retrograde motion. And as it turns to retrograde motion, that means this week it's pretty much at a standstill, which is going to amplify and magnify all of his energies, those things that he rules, which are all those things that we just spoke of. Unconditional love and oneness with the universe and creation, having an open heart with compassion and forgiveness towards everyone and everything, every being, and towards yourself. Neptune has no boundaries, which can sometimes be a difficulty in our third dimensional reality, but let's think of it as no boundaries between time and space, between this lifetime and previous incarnations and future incarnations. No boundaries between who we are as a soul and merging again with the oneness of all that is. Breathing that in deeply into every cell of your body and knowing that the best way to utilize Neptune shifting to retrograde motion this week is to allow yourself to connect with everyone and everything. Connect with your higher soul self, connect with your angels and guides, connect with Spirit, God, universe, the cosmos. Allow yourself to feel that at oneness with all things. Feeling at one with all things. which means we're one with all of the collective. We're one with Earth Mother Gaia. We're one with the stars and the planets. We're one with the grass and the animals. We're one with other human beings. And sending that unconditional love and light and peace and compassion and healing out into the world, out from your heart chakra, to everyone and everything. Let's take one last deep breath, breathing in that intention. And as you exhale, and in your own time, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. And get ready to look at your stones of choice for this week, for this week's special message card later on. So, our first stone of choice is Sonora Sunrise Sunset Chrysocolla. Excuse me, this one's wrapped in silver wire and infused with the qualities of the number 8, number of empowerment, willpower, and the courage to move through the challenges of life. The qualities of the sign Sagittarius, sign of hope, freedom, and the ability to change one's routine to move towards accomplishing one's goals in life. The energies of the planet Pluto, to encourage one to explore the highest hidden knowledge of the inner self and manifest transformation on one's life path. Sorry. Wow, something's going on with my throat chakra. And this one also activates the root chakra for security, the sacral chakra for passion, and the throat chakra for speaking one's truth. I think I better wear this today, right? This stone offers a strong connection between the inner and outer self, as well as the energies of the cosmos, and to promote the spiritual power to awaken the hidden talents of the self. Okay, I got that all out. All right. The second stone of choice is this beautiful amethyst cluster. So this amethyst cluster is wrapped in gold wire, Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 9, essence of the humanitarian and creative and spiritual energy, and the master number 11, number of the light worker and the visionary, qualities of the sign of Pisces for unconditional love, compassion, and spiritual connection to one's angels and guides. The balancing of the crown chakra to open one up to higher wisdom and guidance. This one has infused into it Archangel Raziel's energy, the Archangel of alchemy and divine magic. And then pendant number 3 is this beautiful, unique orange and blue sodalite. Usually sodalite we think of as blue, right? But this one has some orange in it, as you can see. It's wrapped in silver wire and Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 3, number of joy and creative self-expression, activation of the throat chakra for speaking your truth with unconditional love and compassion, the energy of the air element for speaking, teaching, writing, and sharing information. And this one has infused into it the energy of major arcana justice, which is about divine truth and right judgment, and Archangel Gabriel's energy, the messenger angel and helper of those whose life path involves the arts or communication fields. All right, so again, taking one last look, we've got the Sunrise Sunset Chrysocolla. We've got the amethyst cluster. And last but not least, we have the orange and blue sodalite. So let's go ahead and talk about the astrology. Again, there's lots going on here this week. So you're going to feel a lot of probably shifting and movement because a lot of these are what's called personal planets this week that are creating connections with one another. And personal planets are faster moving, and it deals with, our sense of self and our emotions and our thoughts and actions and relationships. So it's all those things that we deal with more on a day-to-day level in life rather than the outer planets, which rules more of a collective energy and soul evolution and growth type of thing. But on Monday the 26th, we start out with Mars the warrior, or the planet that rules the masculine archetype. He's in Leo right now. So Mars wants to move forward. It's in fire sign Leo. So again, he's expressive and he's leadership oriented, take charge oriented, exuberant in his energy, vital in his energy. And he is in a challenging square connection to Uranus. Now, this happens very early on Monday. So if you're watching this video early, as I usually publish this the Friday before, you're going to feel this on Sunday the 25th as well. And Uranus is all about liberation, freedom, independence, change, redirection, sudden and unexpected kind of energies, lightning bolt realizations. So you might find with this challenging square connection between Mars and Uranus that you want to break free, or other people want to break free. You know, they want to experience liberation and freedom and independence, and don't tie me down and don't hold me back. And, you know, just this, again, very vital and passionate energy that wants to just have this momentum and push forward. Now, we might have some sudden and unexpected situations or circumstances that come up, some out of the blue things that happen in regards to actions that we try to take, or creative self-expression that we might try to express. Could be something to do with masculine energy, or people that are in more of a, I don't know if I want to say an authority placement, but it could have something to do with relationships, because Mars is that masculine energy. And when we get to the end of the week, we're going to have Venus connecting to Uranus too. So it's this week of maybe something changing in relationship matters. But coming back to Monday, also on Monday, we have Mercury, the planet of the mental realm, rules our thoughts, ideas, our perceptions, our communications. He's in his home sign of Gemini at the moment, and he's going to be in a weird and kind of sometimes challenging or difficult inconjunct to Pluto, planet of death and rebirth, power and control, transformation, regeneration. So this is where we're needing to shift our perspective or shift our thoughts in some way, because Mercury in Gemini is curious and chatty and networking and brainstorming, and it's like all kinds of, again, social interactions or communication interactions, and also within ourselves, that communication as well. So with that connection to Pluto, Pluto sometimes can bring some power and control issues. So there might be words, communications, frustrations being spoken with other people, but it can also, again, transform and shift our own thoughts and, as I said, perceptions, and shift the way that we intend to communicate with other people, or even how we talk to ourselves in our own head. Also on Monday, right after Mercury connects to Pluto, it's going to shift out of Gemini and into Cancer, where it's going to stay until July 11th. So now we have a mental planet, Mercury, ruling the mental body, the mental realm, and going into intuitive, emotional, sensitive water sign Cancer. So this is kind of an interesting placement for Mercury. There's going to be a focus more on communication with family members, more of an ability to maybe nurture through our words and communications. There might be more thoughts about our home and our living situation and what we want to do or change regarding that situation. Our words can be more tender and more loving and more mothering and more caring. But again, Mercury wants to be logical and analytical, whereas Cancer wants to be emotional and loving. So we'll see how that plays out. On Wednesday, the 28th, we have the Sun in Cancer, and it's going to be in a positive trine connection to Saturn, who is the authority, the planet of responsibility, the planet sometimes that rules limitation and restriction, but also rules manifestation and being our own inner authority. Now, Saturn is in Pisces right now and is retrograde, and this is a positive connection. So I want to say that there's kind of this deepening, if you will, of energy and perspective and wisdom when it comes to home and family matters, and when it comes to our own emotions and emotional natures and emotional reactions to things. Saturn retrograde in Pisces is kind of like the inner shaman energy to me. And again, that Cancer energy with the sun being in Cancer and Mercury being in Cancer now too is much more sensitive and loving. So there can be this self-love and self-nurturing and self-realization, this kind of this wisdom that comes. It's sort of like when they say wisdom comes with age. Well, wisdom is going to come with Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And on Thursday, it's going to be Mercury's turn to trine Saturn in Pisces. So within those 2 days, we have both the Sun and Mercury in Cancer, and that positive trine connection to Saturn. Now, Saturn still rules karmic lessons or karmic challenges. So it might bring up some old emotional stuff for us to kind of contend with, especially when that emotional quote-unquote stuff deals with home and family matters, our childhood, the past, past circumstances and situations that were emotional for us. So it might bring some stuff up, but because it's a positive connection to Saturn, it's also supporting a restructuring process, a restructuring of our emotional body, a restructuring within the home and family situation that's going on for us right now. So this is again positive. At the same time on Thursday, we've got Venus, planet that rules love and relationships, in a positive trine to Chiron, the wounded healer. Now Venus is in Leo. So Venus is wanting to shine her light and her love and her creative self-expression in Leo, and she wants to magnetize positive, sun-filled, creative-filled, love-filled energy into her life. That trine to Chiron, again, Chiron can bring up some past karmic wounds because it is Chiron, the wounded healer. But Chiron is also known as the shaman in astrology, and it's a positive connection. So we can heal some of maybe these divine feminine wounds that we have in regards to self-appreciation or self-value or shining our light out into the world and not being kind of held back from that sort of expression. On Friday the 30th, we have Neptune, which is what we did our meditation on earlier. Neptune is the planet that rules the spiritual realm and our psychic abilities, healing abilities, our connection to angels, guides, and the other realms that are unseen or intangible. Neptune can rule illusion, delusion, and confusion as well as far as his shadow side. But as he turns retrograde, which means he's slowing down this week, in fact, you probably felt it last week as well, while it amplifies and magnifies his energy as he's slowing down and getting ready to turn retrograde at 27 degrees of Pisces. Where he's going to be, by the way, he's going to be retrograde in Pisces until December. He's going to go all the way from 27 degrees back to 24 degrees. That's only 3 degrees back between now and December of this year before he turns back to direct motion. So we're mostly going to feel Neptune's intensification or magnification of his energies right now as it's turning to retrograde, and then in December again when he turns back to direct motion. So again, anything that deals with illusion, confusion, delusion, not being grounded, not being focused, those are the shadow aspects. But Neptune also rules unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, surrender, trust, faith, psychic abilities, healing abilities, and merging with the oneness of all that is. Also on Friday the 30th, the Sun and Mercury come together in Cancer. And so again, Wednesday and Thursday, right, we had the Sun connecting to Saturn and then Mercury connecting to Saturn. And then on Friday, they come together with one another. So it's gonna shine light. The Sun is shining its light upon Mercury in Cancer, which is, again, home, family, counseling, nurturing, healing, listening, caretaking, and being around those you love and healing your own emotional body or reminiscing on memories of the past in order to heal them as well. On Saturday, the 1st of July, now we go into a new month, which, by the way, you'll want to make sure to go onto my YouTube channel and watch the monthly Empowered Moments video for the month of July with a whole brand new energy. But on Saturday, the 1st of July, we've got Mercury and the Sun in Cancer, both in a positive sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of blessings, abundance, prosperity. It expands whatever it touches. Now, it can expand for good or not good, but this is a positive connection with the Sun and Mercury and Jupiter. So look for some sort of blessings in home and family matters, your living situation, your emotions or emotional healing, or talking about your feelings, being able to communicate with other people about how you feel. And there could be something too about both emotional security and financial security. Emotional security because the Sun and Mercury are in Cancer, which rules emotional security. But maybe financial security, there's something positive that might come into play as well, because Jupiter, the planet of abundance and blessings, is in Taurus. And Taurus does rule finances and money, as well as our values and how we value ourselves. On Sunday, we wind up the week on July 2nd with Venus in Leo in a square aspect, which is a challenging aspect to Uranus and Taurus. Now remember, we started the week on Monday with Mars in Leo, square Uranus and Taurus. Now we end the week on Sunday with Venus in Leo, square Uranus and Taurus. So again, Taurus, liberation, freedom, breaking free, independence, wanting to do your own thing and be your own person and shine your light in a unique way, the way that you want to, move forward in the way that you want to and in your own time. So there might be some rebellious energies with the Mars part at the beginning of the week. And there might be something to do with relationships or money, because Venus rules both relationships and personal resources, which includes money and finances. There might be some changes or redirections or surprises during the week and in all of these areas with that Uranus influence. And just one more mention is that even though this is going to be a part of next week's weekly Empowered Moments video, Monday the 3rd, so that's just the next day, right? Monday the 3rd, we're building up to a full moon. In fact, the full moon at 11 degrees Capricorn happens earlier on Monday morning. So I did want to give you a heads up in this video that as we near the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, the 1st and 2nd of July, we're starting to build towards this full moon in Capricorn. And we'll talk more about that next week. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides. Now, I haven't used the Angel Tarot deck in a while for these videos. And as cards were falling out of the deck when I was shuffling and meditating, they were dropping out like in twos. And I had to have a conversation with my own guides and angels about how to read these cards for this week, because sometimes the cards come out and we're like, the first card, is more the first part of the week and relates to this astrological transit, and the middle card, the middle of the week, and so forth and so on. But the universe or angels and guides, they were saying that these pairs of cards that were falling out on top of one another were related to themes for the week and not necessarily to a time period of the week. So we're going to look at 3 sets of themes for the week regarding the cards that came out. And the first 2 cards, we have the King of Wands, which is leadership, it says at the bottom. The king is the leader. He's in charge. He's in the sign of Wands or fire, which is passion, leadership, take charge, creative expression, etc., right? So again, we've got leadership with the King of Wands. And the card that came out with the King of Wands, though, was the 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Swords here at the bottom says heartache. Now, the 3 of Swords in the traditional tarot, you often see a sword or 3 swords kind of stabbed into someone's heart. It's not a very pretty card, but it's almost like these wounds, right? It's some sort of heartache or wounds or emotional wounds, and it does say heartache here. And so it made me feel like, since it's with the King of Wands, and I was looking at some of the astrology for the week, that this felt like divine masculine energy. And it's not just men per se, because we all have a divine masculine and a divine feminine, or we all have feminine and masculine qualities within us. And they're not always shining in the divine way, right? But the masculine energy is like that. Take charge, take action, react, make something happen, kind of just, again, be the leader, and just kind of put the energy out in an extroverted way. Now, the shadow side of the King of Wands, again, would be egotism, reacting before you're thinking, jumping the gun a little too quickly, overexerting your authority or control over someone. And since it came out with the Three of Swords and heartache, it made me feel like there was some sort of emotional wounding here going on with the divine masculine archetype in general on a collective level. And with that, Mars rules the masculine and Venus rules the feminine archetypes, right? And they're both in a challenging square aspect to Uranus this week, one at the beginning of the week, one at the end of the week. So I think there's something going on here, again, in relationships or within your own self, that deals with, these wounds of masculine versus feminine. So however that might play out for you in your personal life, is probably different from individual to individual. So just know that there's something going on that's bringing up some emotional heartache energy or old wounds. And the old wounds could be totally from the past, childhood or past life, or the wounds could be reactivated through like relationship situations, and not just of a romantic nature, but this could be business relationships, friendship relationships, family relationships, definitely, because of all the Cancer energy with the Sun and Mercury going on this week, which Cancer rules home and family. So look at, again, your own masculine, your own feminine, and if you can step outside of yourself, the masculine feminine that's operating with other people around you, and see what's going on here with some of these wounds coming up and out. So that's the first theme going on. The second theme, the first card of the second set of two cards that came out was the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords says independence. Well, again, especially Venus, the queen is a feminine archetype, right? Swords is of the mind, the mental realm, thoughts, ideas, communications. And the Queen of Swords is always seen as this very independent, I can stand on my own 2 feet, or I stand alone, or, I'm in charge of my own reality sort of energy. And that's, again, Venus with Uranus. Venus square Uranus at the end of the week wants to break free, wants her independence. She wants to kind of be in charge of her own reality. Here she looks like she's almost defending her independence in a way. But interestingly enough, when I was shuffling the deck and I was asking, okay, what's the card that goes with this? Immediately, this card fell on top of it. It fell like crossing it like this. And it is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups says commitment. And so right away, it's like independence versus commitment. And it definitely feels like it's a relationship theme, doesn't it? It's like you might want your independence. You have to really kind of think about it, though. Again, this is the Queen of Swords. So she's going to contemplate. She's going to, think about the pros and cons. She's going to definitely be in her head about this. Does she want independence? And maybe it doesn't necessarily mean breaking off a relationship, but it could. But at least desiring and taking some sort of action and having some sort of communication about, hey, I need to find myself. I need my own sense of freedom and independence here. I need to liberate myself from this pattern or from this particular type of situation within our relationship. And again, this could be any kind of relationship. But then you've got the King of Cups. So it's almost like the masculine energy here coming in, but the masculine energy is in the Suit of Cups, which is emotional. So it's dealing with emotions and, again, maybe emotional wounding, or his wanting to offer the Queen something, but maybe she's like, oh, well, do I want to commit to this? Do I want to commit to that energy and settle into this energy? Do I want to almost in a way surrender to this energy? But the Queen of Swords is never going to surrender totally because she wants her independence. So it's almost like, again, independence versus commitment. What's important to you? And most likely both things are important. So there needs to be a communication. Like right now she's looking away from the King of Cups. Let's turn it this way. So she's looking towards the King of Cups. Let's have a communication in our different types of relationships, family, friend, business, and romantic partnerships, about independence versus commitment and what that means to you, what that means for you. Okay, so that's the second theme that's going on. The last theme, the first card of the two, was the Ace of Cups. It says love at the bottom. Well, you know, Venus does rule love and relationships, but more than that, Neptune rules unconditional love and unconditional compassion and unconditional forgiveness and unconditional support of one another. And so it made me feel like it was about Neptune. Now, it could be Venus as well, but the card that came out with it was the Hanged Man, Major Arcana 12, the Hanged Man, and it says Angel of Prophecy at the bottom. And so again, what is Neptune in part about? Neptune is about our psychic abilities, our ability to connect with our angels, our guides, our higher soul self, the cosmos, the universe, the goddess energy, spirit, great spirit, you know, whatever you want to call that energy that's in a way overseeing and protecting all of us, right? And that, again, for some people might be God or source, and for other people it's the goddess or the priestess. It doesn't really matter, but know that this is all about the unconditional love and surrendering to it. With the Hanged Man, there's this element of surrender. So let's surrender into unconditional love and compassion and healing and forgiveness for ourselves and for one another. Right? Even in relationships. So also the Hanged Man is about looking at something from a different perspective, because the Hanged Man, in this case, it's an angel, right? But the angel's hanging upside down. And when you're hanging upside down or standing on your head, you're seeing the world from a different vantage point. You're seeing things from a different perspective. So let's look at love from a different perspective. Does love mean control? No. Does love mean obeying? Obeying? No. Does love mean that it has to be just a man and a woman in a romantic love relationship? No. You know, so let's shift our perspective about what love, what unconditional love is all about. And that we're all a part of the oneness of the cosmos, that we're all a part of the oneness of the universe, or spirit, or God, or goddess, and therefore we're all a part of each other. So we need to exude love from our heart chakras to everyone and everything. We need to have that unconditional love in our heart space, and then reflect it back at yourself, right? And have unconditional love and compassion for yourself as well. So that's the third theme that's going on this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. That first stone was the Sunrise, Sunset, Chrysocolla. Sunrise, Sunset, Chrysocolla, special message for Sunrise, Sunset, Chrysocolla people. This one's calling my attention as I open my eyes. Oh, dragon power. Love dragon power. So this is a little baby dragon, I think. But dragons to me are very protective energy. They're very powerful creatures, and some people fear dragons, right? But don't fear the dragon, because the dragon is a part or an aspect of you, or call in the dragon to be an aspect of you and own your power and take back your power. Be empowered in the dragon energy, and let the dragon be a protector, and let the dragon be a guide for you as you move forward. It's interesting that it's a very kind of dark sort of scene, right? It's like the dark of night. So this could be, again, taking back our power with our shadow aspects, those things that lie hidden in the depths of our psyches, those subconscious patterns that we need to reveal to ourselves, become aware of, and bring light to, so we can kind of illuminate them and bring healing to them as well. And this dragon looks like it has fairy wings here. You can very kind of just make out these dragon kind of wings. And it's not a typical dragon wing. You know, to me it looks very kind of, again, like a baby dragon with a fairy wing. So again, allow it to be a little bit more playful, right? Instead of being like big and scary and powerful and whatnot. Let this dragon be one of kind of healing inner child, lightness and curiosity like the fairy realm. And again, to kind of be playful with that dragon's totem and that dragon spirit, and allow it again to illuminate the shadows around you and to lead you in the right direction, again, to take back your power or empower yourself. All right, let's take a look at the special message card for the amethyst cluster. So special message this week for amethyst cluster people. This one's calling my attention in the middle here. Water spirit manifesting dreams. Well, I forgot to tell you that Neptune also rules our dreams. Typically it rules our nighttime dreams, but it can also rule, again, the imagination and inspiration, so our daytime dreams as well. So with the water spirit here, and Neptune is in water sign Pisces, and we've got two planets, Mercury and the Sun in water sign Cancer, and we've got Saturn in water sign Pisces, so there is a lot of water energy going on. Water is fluid, water is emotional, right? But it's in part our emotions that help to create our reality. First, we have the thought in the mental realm. Then we give it some sort of positive emotion like joy, happiness, vital energy of an emotional nature. We kind of infuse that into the thought. So now we've got the emotional body, the water. And then it comes into manifestation on the physical plane, right? Of course, there's spirit too, right? So you got all the elements. The air is thought. The positive, passionate, joyous, happy emotion is water. The magic, if you will, the inspiration, the imagination of this is the fire element, and it brings it into materialization, which is the earth element. So the water spirit is manifesting your dreams. So work on using all of your elements, all of the elements of nature to manifest your dreams. And I feel like going out in nature is going to inspire you. So take a walk out in nature, go meditate out in nature, go hiking out in nature. This, to me, it's not really a waterfall, but it's like a waterfall of light. So I feel like, we're walking through this portal of imagination, this portal of inspiration through, again, our positive emotions to create and manifest our dreams this week. So take the next step. And then lastly, we've got the orange and blue soda light. So for those that chose the orange and blue soda light, special message. This one's calling my attention here. The ancient oak spirit and strength. Okay. So again, this is kind of like Saturn. Saturn's the authority. And when it's retrograde, it's the inner authority within us. And when it's retrograde in Pisces, it's the inner shaman, which is that ancient energy. So here we've got it all wrapped up into one here. I feel like focusing on Saturn and Pisces retrograde right now is maybe where you want to set your intentions or put your mind towards in self-reflection. And maybe going out and connecting with, if you have any in your area, some ancient oak trees, the ancient oak spirits of those trees that have a lot of wisdom, that have a lot of knowledge, that have a lot of strength, right? Because they've been around for a long time, they're big, they got a thick trunk, they got full branches. So they have a lot of staying power. And this is kind of a message for you to own your inner strength, to own your your inner power, to own that ancient wisdom that's deep within your soul. And again, maybe connecting to some of those oak trees might especially assist you. And we've got even a portal here, a gateway going into the ancient oak tree. So maybe doing a shamanic journey. Saturn in Pisces retrograde is like the inner shaman, as I mentioned earlier. So let's do a shamanic journey and maybe enter the ancient oak tree in our visualization and see what lies within that tree. What gifts and blessings are there for us to become aware of, and then to take back out after our meditation, take back out into our 3D reality that's going to aid us in moving forward in our lives. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I send you lots of love and light, and happy full moon coming up, but we'll talk about that more next week. So namaste, everyone.